Welcome, councillors, and welcome everybody to the Development Assessment Committee for 18th of May 2022. Open the meeting and note that Councillor Edwards is not present. He's away on leave. Is an apology, so just please note that. Also be advised that this meeting is recorded in accordance with the Moorabool Shire's governance rules, and the meeting will also be live streamed, so thank you. Confirmation of the minutes of the 20th of April 2022. Somebody move that they be received, please. Councillor Berry, Councillor Tatchell. I'll put that. All those in favour is carried. Thank you. Disclosure of conflicts of interest. Councillors, any conflicts of interest? I wish to note Sorry, Councillor Manari, please.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Mayor, I interrupted you. I have a conflict of interest with item 7.2.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. I'd also like to note a conflict of interest in item 7.1, in that I've professionally prepared a plan for the owner and applicant for that particular item. So, given that this is now the next item of business, I would call on Councillor Tatchell to resume the chair. Thank you, Councillor Tatchell.
Okay, now I would like to speak on this item, so I'm going to invite Councillor Berry to chair this part of the meeting.
Thank you. Item 7.1, we have one speaker representing the applicant, Mr. David Merritt. Would you like to speak, please?
Thanks, Madam Chair, and other councillors, thanks for your time tonight. Just very briefly, my name's David Merritt. I'm a planning consultant. I've actually been involved in Camerons Road since 2009. I was the consultant that prepared all of the planning information that led up to the rezoning of the land back in 2017. My clients are here tonight. I might just introduce them if I may. I've got Warren and Debbie Blight over my right shoulder. There were some notes, I understand, that were circulated, Madam Chair, over the last couple of days by my clients, and I'd just like to make a couple of corrections on those notes if I can, because I'll be going through those just in some added detail over the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
So the first matter I'd just like to correct is that I shouldn't have been referring to the landowner of 246 Camerons Road. That was my error, and I apologise for that. So from now on, I'll be just referring to the landowner of 246 Camerons Road as the other item that I've referred to in those notes. The other correction I'd like to make is that the application that I did refer to, I did suggest that it was decided by staff, whereas I have now researched council minutes from last year, and in September last year that particular item was determined by council, by the Development Advisory Committee. So with that said, you'd all be familiar with the planning controls that apply to Camerons Road. They have now been in place for 5 years. Then there was a significant planning period that led up to the introduction of those. Now, the west side of Camerons Road is allowed to subdivide down to 6 hectares, provided vegetation, setback requirements, setback from the state park and the quarry on the east side of Camerons Road are met, provided bushfire controls are satisfied, and also building envelopes are complied with. Now, Warren and Debbie Blight, my clients, currently have one house on 71 hectares. So they're the largest landowner in the Camerons Road rural living precinct. And they're immediately at the southern end of that precinct. So a permit was issued in 2019 for the southern part of that tenement that my clients own, comprising 42 hectares that re-subdivided 2 existing titles into 4 lots. Now that subdivision's been approved, the titles have been issued, and it's important to note that the average lot size that was created under that subdivision was 10.5 hectares, not 6, so well above the minimum lot size requirement. Now, the current permit proposes to subdivide the remaining balance of my client's property, which is 28 hectares, into 2 lots, a 12 hectare lot and a 16 hectare lot, with an average lot size of 14 hectares, remembering in the background that there's a 6 hectare minimum lot size. Now, it's important as part of the application assessment, Council's gone through the referral of the application and also the advertising of it. So first of all, the referrals, the bushfire assessment that we provided as part of the application, that was sent to the CFA. They supported the proposal with no conditions. Secondly, the application was advertised to the general community, and there were no objections. A land capability assessment was provided, and that showed that the land can accommodate its own wastewater on site and, importantly, within the building envelopes that are shown on the proposed plan of subdivision. Now, the property that I did refer to in my introductory notes at 246 Camerons Road, that was allowed to have an additional building envelope to create an extra site for one extra house that was supported by Council in September last year. Now, the preferred envelopes shown in the planning controls that apply generally to Camerons Road are not mandatory, so they are discretionary. So there is flexibility with this particular application to approve a second dwelling on the land, provided all the first principal issues are satisfied. And what I mean by that is that the vegetation issues are satisfied, the bushfire issues are satisfied, and the setback issues are satisfied. I'll get to those shortly. Now, the Blights, well, my client's situation is very much the same. The planning scheme shows 4 building envelopes and 2 alternative envelopes across their 71 hectares. Now, you remember the previous permit that was issued in 2019 approved 4 building envelopes. So 6 minus 4, there's a balance of 2 building envelopes available, and using the principles of Council's approval of that application at 246 Camerons Road last year, that is all we are doing with this particular application. We're creating a 2-lot subdivision that allows for a building envelope on each of those lots. Now, I've read the officer report that's before you tonight, and there's an inference and a clear statement in there actually that this is an overdevelopment of the site. Now, I simply put back to councillors tonight is that how can it be an overdevelopment of the site when the minimum allotment size is more than satisfied with this application? The lots to be created are over double the size of the minimum allotment size, and all of the first principal matters like vegetation, setbacks and ability to retain waste on site are also satisfied. So importantly, the subdivision has a lot size that on average is over double the zone minimum of 6 hectares. Now, in addition to that, the subdivision doesn't rely upon vegetation removal at all. There are trees on the land, but the 2 building envelopes have been carefully sited in cleared areas. So defendable space and the provision of those building envelopes do not require vegetation removal at all. Now, the construction can be to a BAL 19 standard, which is effectively the standard that you would see in Bacchus Marsh. Importantly, that construction standard under bushfire has been approved by the CFA with no conditions. Access to Camerons Road is excellent. The land is almost flat and avoids any significant slopes. The land does slope down towards the rear, but the two building envelopes that you'll see in the agenda item are located closer to Camerons Road, which is where all the flat, cleared land is. As I said, the land can treat its own wastewater comfortably, and all setbacks are met or bettered. So the land's not within the quarry buffer or the state park buffer. Now, there has been some discussion, I think, in the officer report about the potential of further subdivision if this application was approved tonight. Now, one matter that we'd like to firmly put back to councillors tonight is that my clients are willing to enter into a Section 173 agreement that would prohibit the further subdivision of the two lots that are being proposed for approval tonight. So I understand you're probably aware of what a Section 173 agreement is. It's an agreement between a party and a council that would seek in this matter to prohibit the further subdivision of that 12-hectare lot or the 16-hectare lot from any further subdivision potential at all. And that provides certainty to council in regard to any future possible subdivision that could occur on these proposed lots that are before you tonight. I think it's an excellent concession from my clients and something that they're more than happy to commit to.
Is that all, Mr Merritt?
That's all I have, unless there are any questions, Madam Chair. Thank you for that.
Councillors, do you have any questions? Councillor Tatchell?
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. Look, accepting that there's a precedent in terms of, well, a proposed precedent in terms of an application that was done by an alternative motion of council that allowed an extra house. There's a couple of questions here. One is that when this went to panel, as you put it forward today and was rejected by panel. What's changed since the panel hearing that, you know, I note that there's a differential in terms of the CFA report at the panel hearing and the CFA report that we have now. Yeah. But what's actually physically changed from the panel's decision to where we sit today?
I think it's a good point you make. The issue is that I think the matter that was put to council last year with the other application was that council staff considered the application was prohibited because they were mandatory controls. Now, I'm a planner of 35 years' experience. The controls before you at the moment are not mandatory. So there is that element of flexibility to create additional lots, provided all of the other first principle matters are satisfied. And as I said, we've got no vegetation being removed, we've got excellent access, we've got all the setback requirements are met and bettered, and the minimum allotment size is significantly greater. The lots being created are significantly larger in area than the minimum allotment size. But to protect the uncertainty that might be created in terms of the potential of further subdivision of these two lots, as I said, my clients are happy to have that prohibited by agreement between council and themselves.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I also have some questions of officers, if I may.
Yes, certainly can, Councillor Tatchell.
Thank you. I suppose the first one would be that the DDO 14, would it probably have a higher precedent than a Section 173 agreement in the event that this was overturned or done via an alternate motion? Or would the 173 agreement actually hold water?
Through the chair, the 173 agreement would hold water.
Thank you. And my next question is, there's obviously a differential between the precedent set on 246 in terms of the alternate motion that produced a different result at the last at the council meeting. What is the reasoning? I know there was a differential in terms of some of the overlays, but there was also a zoning issue, is that correct? Or a zoning differential between the property that's been used as a precedent for an alternative on this application and the actual application that sits in front of us. Could you explain to me the two zoning differences, please?
So through the chair, the differences on the previous one was that was a rural living zone and this is a rural conservation zone.
Okay, and now my third question, Madam
Sure.
Madam Chair. Geez, I'm nearly promoted you. Here you go. Is that we've seen this time and time again where a panel report will come back with a CFA report that has bearing in terms of what the panel's decision is, and then paradoxically, when an application comes in to split or to subdivide or to change the ruling on the panel hearing, we see that there's a difference in opinion on the Bell rating and on the CFA's view of this. And we know that they're a referral for the panel hearing and then a referral for this. And yet we have two completely different answers. Is there a reasonable explanation why that would occur?
Through the chair, I'm not sure what the reasonable explanation is, but I will make the point this is the refusal that's in front of you as recommended is based on the DDO 14, not so much the CFA response.
Accepting that, but there is an anomaly there on both because it is mentioned, so I accept that. So on that basis, let's just talk about the DDO 14. In terms of the precedent that was set on 246, was there a DDO 14 applied to that in terms of when the alternate motion was set?
Through the chair, that's correct.
Thank you. That's a bit all I've got, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tatchell. Is there any further questions from councillors? No? Councillors will make their decision now. Mr Merrick, thank you very much.
We have an alternative, I think.
Yeah, councillors, there is a recommendation.
I would like to move an alternative recommendation of approval with conditions, and it is the version that was circulated with a Section 173 agreement required in it.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor Ward? Thank you. Is there any dissent? No? All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Can somebody ask Councillor Sullivan back into the room, please?
An alternative recommendation went through.
Thank you, Councillor. The next item of business is item 7.2. And I think earlier on Councillor Minari indicated a conflict of interest. So I note that it's no longer on the screen up there, so I'm assuming that she's abstained from it. Okay, thank you. Councillors, we have a written submission has come in with respect to this particular item from Mr Stephen Derrick. There's quite a page of information. I'm assuming that's been circulated to all councillors, so councillors have seen that document. So just to so the recap, I'll just read the last paragraph. It's in bold, if I may, councillors. In summary, it is requested that council defer consideration of this planning application until such time as CHW, that is Central Highlands Water, provides a comprehensive plan for future developments on the site together with an independent assessment of the implication for the Bostock catchment. So hopefully councils have had opportunity to peruse that. So we just have that noted, please. Mr Derrick is asking for matters to be deferred. Councillors, there is a recommendation there. Is there any comment? Councillor Tatchell, you wish to move or have a question? Yeah, thank you, Councillor Tatchell. Is there a seconder for that, please? Councillor Ward. Is there any dissent, councillors? I'll put that. All those in favour? Yes, thank you. It's carried.
I'd like to vote no.
You wish to have... Okay, so... Okay, thank you. Okay, I think...
And if I can have that noted, I'll call for a division too, if that's...
So you want to call formally for a division? Okay. Councillors, with respect to the recommendation moved by Councillor Tatchell and seconded by Councillor Ward. Councillor Edwards has joined us. Thank you. All those in favour, please raise your hand. All those against? Okay, thank you. And have that noted that those councillors who voted for and against. Thank you. The next item of business, councillors, is... well, we do have... I'll just do the VCAT things in two parts. We might just have anything update, but there is something in confidential. But if there's any information in open council, Mr Bazoodenhout, well, there's a matter to go into confidential later, but just anything open council?
No, we haven't got any general update, Mr Mayor.
Councillor, is there any other business? Any other business? Councillor Tatchell, please.
It's probably not business, Mr Mayor, but I'd just like to note that it is Wow Day.
Wow.
I didn't know what Wow Day was until I drove in here today. But apparently it's wear orange to work on Wednesday because of our local SES. Now,
okay.
It's an unfortunate name, but in consideration of the work that the SES has done in the past few months, especially in Moorabool, in terms of storm damage, I just thought it was worth noting that it is their Wow Day. Yeah. I hope they come up with a different name, and maybe we could honour it in a probably more respectful manner. But you know, okay. Ultimately, I'd just like to note that the volunteers of the SES have done a magnificent job since Christmas, and it's probably unfortunate that a day, we have all these days for everything. I mean, we have a day for red toffee apples, but ultimately when something really important comes up like the SES, it's unfortunate sometimes the day just goes past and we're unaware of it. So I know next Wow Day, I'll attempt to find something orange in my 70s wardrobe. And,
I'm sure you'll have something.
We'll all have something.
Indeed.
I'm sure you will too.
Indeed.
Has someone called in Councillor Minari?
I was going to suggest that the Councillor Minari be advised to resume, please, if that's possible. We might just wait. We're not other business councillors. I just note while Councillor Minari is rejoining us. Are there any other items of general business? No, okay. Well, we'll just wait till Councillor Minari joins us before... we just need to move into there's a confidential VCAT update, councillors, so I might just call upon someone to move that we go into confidential, please. Yeah, no, well, we'll do that, but then the guests, please feel free to leave. Thank you very much. Thank you. Indeed.